I should have walked away the first time I heard his thoughts. But the moment his mind whispered my name, not out loud, but in a rush of quiet longing, he would never admit, I knew I was already trapped. The city outside was a blur of rain and neon. A typical New York evening. The kind that soaked you through before you even realized you'd stepped outside. I was leaning against my desk in the precinct, pretending to read through case files. But in truth, I was listening. Listening to him. Captain Elias Ward. An alpha in every sense, stoic, commanding, with a presence that could still a room with just one glance. To everyone else, he was untouchable, a fortress of discipline and quiet steel. But to me, he was the man whose mind betrayed him every single day. You're too close to me, Jamie. You're driving me insane. I can't let you see it. His thoughts brushed against mine like an electric current, and I had to look away before my expression gave me away. Because he didn't know I could hear him. No one knew. We worked side by side for months, partners in more ways than one, but with an invisible line drawn between us. The kind of line you're not supposed to cross, not in the force, not in the city, not when you're an Omega with a history of getting burned. But every time his mind betrayed him, I crossed that line just a little more. The first time I realized what he truly felt, it was after a bust went bad. Shots fired, suspect down, and me pinned to the wall by his arms, his breath hot against my ear. You could have been killed, Jamie, he growled, eyes hard. But his mind was screaming something else entirely. If I lost you, I wouldn't survive it. And yet, he stepped back, cold as ever, brushing it off like I was nothing but another cop under his command. I hated him for it. I wanted him for it. Both things were true, and both were slowly killing me. Late nights became our normal. Paperwork, coffee gone cold, the low hum of the city outside. He would sit across from me, shoulders tense, pretending to focus on reports while his mind wandered to places I shouldn't know about. Places where my name tasted like something forbidden. It was torture. Beautiful, relentless torture. One night, the tension snapped. We were alone in the evidence room, the storm outside rattling the windows. He was boxing up files, avoiding my gaze. I couldn't take it anymore. Do you ever get tired of pretending, Captain? I asked, my voice low. His eyes flicked to mine, sharp and unyielding. Pretending what? That you don't feel anything. He froze, the silence between us stretching tight as wire. His thoughts flared so loud I almost gasped. God, I love you. Stop making me say it. I took a step closer. You don't have to say it, I whispered. I already know. For a moment I thought he might break. His hand twitched at his side, his jaw clenched. But then he stepped back, a wall slamming down behind his eyes. Go home, Jamie, he said, his voice flat. I walked out, but his thoughts followed me all the way to my apartment. I'm doing this to protect you. I can't let them see. I can't let you get hurt because of me. What he didn't understand was that I was already hurt. Every day, every moment he pushed me away. Things got worse when the case came in, a string of high-profile murders that had the city on edge. We were assigned together, long hours chasing shadows, suspects that slipped through our fingers like smoke. The danger was real, but the danger between us felt sharper. One night, after almost catching the killer, we ended up in a cheap motel in Jersey, too far from home, too tired to drive back. 2 rooms booked, but somehow only one key worked. He insisted I take the bed. He took the chair. And as I lay there in the dark, listening to the rain, I heard his mind again. You're killing me, Jamie. I want to touch you so bad it hurts. But if I do, there's no going back. I couldn't take it anymore. Then don't go back, I said aloud into the darkness. The chair creaked. Silence. Then footsteps. And then he was standing over me, shadows painting his face. Jamie, he said, my name a warning, a prayer. I looked up at him. Stop pretending, Elias. And for the first time, he didn't. That night, we didn't sleep. We didn't talk about what it meant. We just existed in the same space, closer than we'd ever been, like the rest of the world had fallen away. But morning came, and so did reality. Back at the precinct, he was Captain Ward again, cold, distant, untouchable. But now I knew the truth. and it burned in my chest like a brand. The case was closing in, and so was the danger. The killer was targeting Omegas. I was next on the list, though I didn't tell Elias. I didn't want him to pull me off the case. I didn't want to give him another reason to lock me out. But that night, as we closed in on the suspect's last known location, I felt his hand brush mine. Just a fraction of a second, just enough to tell me he knew. And in his mind, I heard it clear as day. If it comes down to it, I'll take the bullet for you. The rain was coming down harder when we reached the old warehouse. It was almost midnight, the kind of cold that seeped through your jacket and into your bones. My pulse was steady, but my senses were sharp both from the hunt and from the way Elias stayed just half a step ahead of me, every muscle in his body taut. We moved in silence, the sound of water dripping from the roof mixing with the distant hum of the city. I could hear his thoughts, fast and jagged. Stay behind me. Can't lose him. God, don't let him get hurt. The suspect was somewhere inside. We tracked him for weeks, a ghost of a man who left nothing but broken lives behind him. And now he was hunting me. I'd barely stepped past the threshold when I heard the click. Too late. The world exploded in noise and motion. A flash of light, the echo of gunfire. Elias shoved me hard, and I hit the ground, pain blooming in my shoulder as the air rushed out of my lungs. Jamie! His voice was raw, almost panicked, but his mind was pure fire. Not him. Please, not him. I looked up in time to see Elias tackle the suspect, his body moving with the brutal efficiency of a man with everything to lose. They crashed into a stack of crates, fists flying, a gun skittering across the floor toward me. My fingers closed around it. Drop it! I shouted, my voice shaking but steady enough to make the suspect freeze. Elias yanked him to the ground, cuffs snapping shut. It was over, but not for us. We didn't speak on the drive back. My shoulder throbbed, but all I could think about was the way he'd looked at me in that moment, not like a captain looking at his officer, but like a man watching the person he couldn't live without almost slip away. When we pulled into my apartment building, I reached for the door, but his hand closed around mine. Jamie, he said quietly. I turned, and for the first time, there were no walls in his eyes, no rank, no rules, just him. I can't pretend anymore, he said. His voice was low, almost rough. I thought keeping you at a distance would keep you safe, but it's killing me, every damn day. My chest felt tight, but I managed to whisper, then stop. His hand came up to cup my face, warm and steady despite the rain clinging to us both. I love you, he said out loud this time, not in his head, not in the quiet places I wasn't supposed to hear. And I didn't hold back. I leaned into him, closing the gap, tasting the salt of rain and the truth we'd both been running from. His arms came around me, strong, certain, like he'd been holding himself back for years. Weeks later, the case was over. The precinct moved on. The city went back to its restless rhythm. But for us, something had shifted. We weren't hiding anymore, not from each other, at least. Elias still had that commanding presence, still barked orders like the world depended on it, but now there was a look in his eyes when they found mine. Promise. Sometimes, late at night, we'd sit on my couch with the city lights spilling through the window, his head resting back, my legs stretched across his lap. He'd close his eyes, and I'd hear his thoughts without even trying. You're home. You're mine. And I'm never letting you go. I'd smile because now I could say it back, out loud. I love you too, Captain. And for once, he didn't correct me. He just pulled me closer, the steady rhythm of his heartbeat telling me what words never could that we had made it through the storm. And this time, neither of us was walking away. Thank you for listening. If you find it interesting, please like and subscribe to follow the next stories.